What is going on, everybody? Wedding number 2, full behind the scenes. Today, the focus is going to be on capturing creative imagery when you don't have a lot to work with because of the weather. It was freezing outside. Couldn't go outside. We were trapped. So we had to maximize every inch of the venue. There was a fireplace, there was a curtain, and there were tequila shots. All right, so beginning with the intro shots. Aww. We started and we noticed that there was a fireplace in the bar area. So we began our shots using the fireplace as our backdrop. And then once we got enough of those kind of formal pictures and we warmed up the couple, I got on top of a chair using these cool lights that I saw that were just hanging, and I was shooting through those to try and get some really cool bokeh. And it really gave me some warm photos, and I was able to use those lights to frame my couple in the middle of the shots here. Really came out really nice. And then once we were done with those, we busted out some fancy lighting and started doing some really cool creative shots. So we used the same area for 3 different types of photos: a traditional photo, a fun creative photo, and then coming up, as you can see right here, I'm using my fancy lighting and getting set up for some really cool, dramatic, creative photos. So what we did was put 2 different lights. One had a red gel, one had a blue gel, and we put them behind them about 30 degrees at an angle, just enough to where it would cut them out from the background. We didn't want to illuminate them completely. We just wanted to separate them and get some really cool color highlights on the edges of their body. And it's a photo I've done before, but when you don't have a whole lot of opportunities and spaces in the venue that you have for whatever the circumstance was, for us, it was freezing cold outside, and we only had 2 rooms out of the whole venue to use. This was an option that I felt really gave us some really fun images. Sometimes as a photographer, you just got to stick with your gut and do what you think is right and do what you think is best, especially for your client. And I'm glad I did this because she fell in love with that photo. So here we are, we're capturing the ceremony. I'm not going to share any photos of the ceremony, but what I am going to do is kind of talk about how to keep a low profile. It's a goal of mine when I'm shooting a wedding to really not be seen, not even to be noticed. I'm 6'2" and 220 pounds. I stick out like a sore thumb. There's not much I can do to not stick out. Like, look at me, big old thumb, just waving around. I have a camera in my hand. So what I try to do is get the shots I need to get, and then as soon as I'm able to, I kneel down, and then I stay in a stationary position as long as I can and get as many photos as I can before I feel that I need to move. I want the attention on the couple, and that's always been a great tip that I was told, and it's always a great tip that I give to other photographers that are starting out. Make your movements in the ceremony as least as possible. Let the moment be about the couple and not some big behemoth man like me get all the attention and people wondering what in the world you're doing. And the other thing I'll say is always be ready after the ceremony with your camera. There's always some great emotional moments that you can capture. Just always be on the lookout for those. They are great moments to leverage. So now we're wrapping up our night. This is towards the end. You notice the curtain there, not camera, but the curtain. And we used that curtain just like we used the fireplace earlier. I put a flash behind my couple to illuminate them, to give them a silhouette. And then as you can see, I have some LEDs that I'm using in front of my lens that just give me some cool lights and some cool bokeh that kind of tie together the images I used earlier in the day. And my couple just loved these images. In a minute here, you're going to see that we use the curtain in a different way. And again, being creative, being able to show your client you know how to use and maximize what you have speaks volumes to you as a professional. So this time we used our purple light behind our couple to separate them from the background. Instead, it just would have been a dark background, and that wouldn't have been fun. And then I put my softbox to them camera left, lighting them up just beautifully and softly, and wow, like these images really came out nice, and the couple loved these images. We were able to get them outside, and the whole premise for this shot was we wanted to get them cut out and silhouetted almost again, but we also wanted to get some cool bokeh in the background for them. It would have been just a really cool cinematic shot. This was the first shot, and then we waited for the lights to change, and then this was the second shot we got. And then we hurried up and went inside because it was freezing. Everybody has seen reception photos. I'm not going to show you any of these. Just, the reception photos. Now, at the very end of the night, we have yet to get a ring shot. So we went to the bar area, and the bartender there was super cool. He got us a couple glasses, put some limes, let us use salt, and my setup was really easy. I put my 50mm on my lens. I put my flash on top of a light stand with an umbrella so that it would reflect down and get me a nice highlight and key light on the top of the ring so it would really shine. And I was liking the images I was getting, but there was just something about it. There was no pop. So what I did was I asked the bartender, who was a cool gent, hey, could you sprinkle some water on top of these shot glasses, kind of looking like tequilas flying in there? And man, the image that we got was really cool. And this was the last photo of the night.